right, guys, welcome back. Make sure you like, subscribe, Rumble, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X, share, hit the notification bell. We are back. In this episode, we break down Cheryl Hines' fiery clash on The View over RFK Jr. and vaccines, payouts, expose Democrat hypocrisy on the leaked Young Republicans group chat, and cover Trump's big wins in the Israel ceasefire as CNN meltdown. We also call out the Supreme Court's rejection of Alex Jones's appeal and shocking release of violent criminals by the same judges who freed Irina's killer, the girl that got stabbed while minding her own business. So Kamala says she was the most qualified person to ever run for president.
That is a decent resume, but go ahead.
Well, some people have actually said I was the most qualified candidate ever to run for president.
I like the some people say. Very nice, but go ahead.
I'm just speaking fact.
Yeah.
Well, she kind of clapped back. She's like, I like the some people say, because you know when people say that, they're lying. Who, Kamala? Who said that? Who said that you're one of the most qualified people to ever run for president? No one even voted for you. You were literally placed in. It would be one thing if you had record-breaking votes. You also lost by a landslide. Good for her, though. She can lie, and the delusion, it will never catch up. You know, these people, they just lie through their teeth. But I'm just dying to know who. I would actually like to see one person on camera who stated that they believe that she is she is the most qualified to ever run for president. Good for her. We have Cheryl Hines destroys The View. She went head-to-head with The View panel as Sunny Hostin branded RFK Jr. unqualified, and Whoopi Goldberg tried and failed to corner her. From vaccine injury payouts to Trump's praise, the exchange exposed how desperate the media is to silence inconvenient truths and people who are not like them exactly.
But the problem, respectfully, is that your husband is the least qualified Department of Health and Human Services head that we've had in history. I think that's a very dangerous.
Why is he less qualified than an economist?
I think
How is
that he
possible?
is less qualified.
He has spent his career studying toxins, studying people's health.
He has also spread a lot of misinformation, a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion, and I think it's just a very dangerous thing.
So dangerous. They're always talking about dangerous. So a couple things on that. When she's saying qualification-wise, he's the least qualified, and she was saying, I believe the last person who was underneath, potentially, I think it was Obama, they were an economist. So I don't know why they were qualified, but he isn't. And yeah, I would argue that the person who's had a adverse reaction or a vaccine injury or whatever you want to call it, who then decided to study and spend their entire lives trying to figure out, hey, why did this happen to me? What is inside this? And how could I save other people, or at least give them the information so they don't have to go through this? I would assume that that person would be extremely qualified. But it's weird. They never seem to question other people's qualifications. I mean, you had Dr. Jill Biden talking about health information. You have Fauci, who was deciding for our country and the world what was going to happen, and then all of a sudden vanished overnight. We haven't heard from him since. When they're talking about who's qualified and unqualified, it just means if you're speaking the truth, because I'm sure they are, obviously paid to say things, and I'm sure a lot of their little friends are backed by Big Pharma. But it also just shows that The View doesn't want to have people on with different views, and when they do, they're just immediately shut down. Yeah, I would trust him. And also, they're so quick to say that he's anti-vax. People aren't really anti-vax. We're against being forced to have vaccines that not only we don't need, that are dangerous for us. And on top of that, most people that liberals say are anti-vax are people who actually had adverse reactions to vaccines and are vaccine injured, because it's all fun and games until it happens to you. And he's extremely qualified. They just don't like it because he calls out all the people to their faces being paid by Big Pharma. These women are terrible. I don't know how they're still on TV at all. Whoopi challenges RFK's wife and instantly regrets it.
I do want to say, he's not a doctor. And some of the things he's suggested take it out of the hands of my doctor and me and my OBGYN and me. And I wonder, does it give you pause, and are you able to say, you know, that might not actually be so, because I've got my experience and I've lived with this and I'm still here. So are you able to have those conversations with her?
I am able to have those conversations. And just to be clear, 90% of secretaries of HHS have not been doctors.
But they've had a
There
science
have been
background.
3.
Yeah.
No, to be honest, one of Obama's secretaries of HHS was an economist.
Don't say anything else yet.
'Cause I do
we
wanna-
have to take a break.
That's weird, huh? Holy shit.
Man, the second you hit any of those women with facts, they are just like, well, let's wait. Let's bring it back here. Also, by the way, I'm not saying all doctors are evil and corrupt, but at the same time, they do have incentives. They have incentives to make money, and realistically, are they going to take them? Yes, I'm not saying they're all liars. I also don't really trust who wrote the books, and that's a whole other story. But also, you don't have to be a doctor to do your own research. The people who have adverse reactions, they don't have to be doctors to be like, hey, I went in and got a vaccine, and now I'm extremely sick, and my arm's killing me, and I have all these things wrong with me, and, you know, it triggers autoimmune disorder. You don't have to be a doctor to read what's in the vaccine or read side effects. And also, I'm like, well, I always thought it was weird that Pfizer refuses to release all the side effects until 90 years, when, let's be real, anyone that took it's going to be dead by then. They have no liability. If they had liability, then I would be more open to it. But they're not able to have any sort of real conversations. But good for her for calling them out. She actually knows the facts. So Cheryl Hines on vaccine injury payouts, the View's responses, listen to scientists. Obviously, the scientists are wrong if they had to pay out $5.4 billion.
Because I don't know if you saw, 60 Minutes just did a piece about the vaccine injury compensation program.
Yeah.
So people that have had vaccine injuries can be compensated if they can prove it. And they have paid out $5.4 billion for vaccine injuries. So my question is, can we do better? Is
that all vaccines or just the COVID vaccine?
It's all vaccines.
It's all vaccines.
As far as I know.
Okay.
As far as I know.
Okay.
But so the question is, yes to vaccines. Yes, they are important, and they are an important part of our health care. Can we do better? Can we make them safer? Can we make them, can we listen to parents who say, my child got the vaccine and changed and stopped hitting markers, stopped developing the way they were developing? Can we listen to people when they say that instead of saying, you're crazy?
I agree with that, but you want to listen. But you want to listen to scientists.
Hyenas, they can never just take a break. And really well spoken, beautiful. How can you argue with that when someone says I'm for all these things, but I also want to protect children and I want them to hit milestones? What kind of women? It's a show with women, I think. What kind of women can be against that? That's what I don't understand. And also, yeah, I was shocked. I saw clips of this on TikTok of the 60 Minutes interview, and I was showing them to my friends, and I was like, wow. Things are really bad if this is starting to go mainstream. $5.4 billion, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of injuries. And also, that means 5.4 billion people proved it, which is not easy. They got to make that hell for you if you can actually prove that. Those are very serious injuries. So we have a video of Trump says Cheryl Hines destroyed the people on The View. She did.
Let me also thank the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., whose wife destroyed the people on The View yesterday. I have to say that. I'm not going to ever get into an argument with her. And you've decided, you learned that a long time ago. She did a great job, actually.
That's so funny. He's so funny. I love him so much. I also never see Bobby smile or laugh. That was honestly probably the first time, but I like that he brought that up. We all know how we all feel about The View. So I'm sure you guys have seen, it's been all over the news, especially X. There was a leaked group chat A leaked Young Republicans group chat sent Democrats into a frenzy, even as they ignore their own party scandals, the left's outrage, CNN meltdowns over J.D. Vance, and shocking statistics prove their double standard is not only alive, it is well. We have a video detailing the leaked Young Republicans group chat.
Vile leaked chat messages show leaders of young Republican groups allegedly called black people monkeys, gushed about their love of Hitler, and spoke graphically of their enemies and driving them to suicide. A shocking new report from Politico shows the disturbing alleged chats obtained by the outlet, which were reportedly made by young Republican leaders via Telegram over the course of several months. According to the messages, Kansas Young Republicans Vice Chair William Hendricks, who is white, used variations of the N-word more than a dozen times. Bobby Walker, the vice chair of the New York State Republicans at the time, also described rape as epic in another abhorrent exchange, the texts show. In a vicious rant in June, then chair of New York's Young Republicans, Peter Junta, said everyone who didn't vote for him to become chair of the group's National Federation would be going to the gas chamber, according to the report.
All right, you guys. Here's the thing. Why are they all overweight? I don't understand. I was on X and I was like, I don't care about what they said. I care about all of them are unattractive and overweight, and that is not a good look for Republicans. We are supposed to be better than the other side. We need to be in the gyms. We need to watch that BMI. I don't know what's happening here. First of all, I think anything you say in private, if it's leaked, I don't know, man. People do that stuff to me, and I'm always like, dude, that's the lowest of the low. Like, I've made a career saying offensive but true things. I say offensive things for fun. They're fun to me. I thought all those things were funny, and I also think that everyone's thinking, oh, but when the other side does it. When the other side does it, they're serious. That's the difference. When they say it, they're serious, and they kill us. Like, I don't care what they say. I care about the girls getting stabbed on the train, the women getting the attempted assassination on our president, the successful assassination on Charlie Kirk. They're constantly trying to burn Republicans' offices down, put them in jail. Words, the older you get, they don't mean much. They don't have as much weight behind them because people don't mean what they say. They're also obviously joking. By the way, this is them joking in private. You've seen the stuff the left says when they're serious, right? To the world. The things the left says, like when they're fantasizing about killing all of us. I recorded a man in public who's a liberal, Peter Morgan, who said to my face for wearing Trump stuff, I should be repeatedly to death and murdered, okay? That's the difference between us and them. We say funny stuff. Dude, I make all these jokes, okay? The difference is we're not virtue signaling. I'm not like, I've never said the N-word. What do you mean? I've sang it in songs a million times, and yeah, I'm not a hard R. There's a difference. But I'm just like, we say all these things. I talk about I say the shit to my Jewish friends. I say the racist stuff to my black friends, my Indian friends. This is what we do. This is how normal people used to react before it was all put online. But don't do this moral high ground. Like, oh, we're the bad ones. No, we're not shooting people. We're not talking about killing people, okay? It's a joke. That's the difference. So no, I'm not gonna denounce it, Emily. Denounce the behavior. Sure, when you guys stop attempting to kill us. Because after Charlie Kirk, you know how many messages I got saying, you're next? Yeah, sorry, I don't care. And I think a lot of it's fine. Also, I know these were chopped and skewed as well. Like, you clearly took all these out of context. It's not like they released the conversations. It's a joke. Sorry. Go on Blue Sky. Let me know if that's much better, okay? At least we do it in private the way normal people do. So Alex on Twitter makes a good point. Why are Dems mad about the group chat but won't denounce Jay Jones's text? Yeah, see, that's the difference. When Jay Jones is saying crazy shit like that, they don't denounce it. In fact, they encourage it. He's talking about, like, killing Republicans and, like, murdering children. Literally go on Blue Sky, the Democrat pedophile Twitter, and let me know what you guys find on there, because on there, they're saying this stuff out loud and they're serious. People used to sign petitions during COVID that they thought were real to literally put Republicans and unvaccinated people in modern-day concentration camps. So, sorry, I'm not going to denounce it. I don't care, if I'm being honest. I think a lot of it was actually really funny, and I say horrible things all the time. that are much worse than that. So sorry. We're done with the cancel culture bullshit. JD Vance comments on the scenario essentially, let boys be boys. Yeah, fine.
By focusing on what kids are saying in a group chat, grow up. I'm sorry. Focus on the real issues. Don't focus on what kids say in group chats. But there's another angle to this that I just have to be honest about. I mean, I'm like an old guy at this point. I'm 41 years old. I have 3 kids. I grew up in a different world, right? Where not most of the stupid things that I did when I was a teenager and a young adult, they're not on the internet. Like, I'm going to tell my kids, especially my boys, don't put things on the internet. Like, be careful with what you post. If you put something in a group chat, assume that some scumbag is going to leak it in an effort to try to cause you harm or cause your family harm. But the reality is that kids do stupid things, especially young boys. They tell edgy, offensive jokes. Like, that's what kids do.
I mean, he's right about all of that. That's the unfortunate thing is, one, yeah, we have much bigger issues in this country right now. Okay, much bigger. Also, I don't see the liberals talking about all the manifestos of these freaks on their side, right? That are really crazy. It's only when Republicans do it. But also, he's right. Unfortunately, at this point, we don't live in a normal society where we used to. Like, I even have an issue. I tell people, what a shitty feeling that I know anything in the world I say, that I send, voice memo, text, blah, blah, one day it's going to be used against me. That's why I don't even talk to people anymore. It's not even fun. I can't even make jokes and shit like this because eventually it's just going to come out. But the best advice you could give is what he's saying to his kids. Just assume everything you put out at this point will one day be on the internet for the world to see because we don't live in a functioning society anymore. So we have a video, Jennifer Welch sounding retarded on CNN.
He is married to a woman of Indian descent.
Yes.
He has mixed race children.
Yes.
So to all of the MAGA voters out there, if this man will not defend his wife and will not defend his kids, do you think he gives a crap about you or anything to do with you?
Who is this woman? I just started seeing her pop up. I guess she's like the left version of like, I don't even know who she is, but I'm seeing her pop up more and more. She's on the other side. But I'm just, what do you mean he doesn't care about his wife and kids? He's actually obviously cares about his wife. But when it comes to his kids, he's actually just giving his kids the best advice. He's not telling them, like, he's not doing the fake bullshit of like, don't say anything inappropriate. He's like, just be smart and don't put it online. Yeah, he's a good dad. He's giving them the best, most realistic advice. Congrats. Does she have kids? Probably not. She's a liberal woman. So, meanwhile, the shocking statistics coming out make me think the left is much worse than we even give them credit for. So this is crazy. Only 7% of Democrats think Jay Jones fantasizing about killing his opponent and family is disqualifying. So when you guys come at us for making jokes that are meant to be private, never go out to the public, never harm anyone, we don't harm people. That's why here's the thing. We don't virtue signal. We make the jokes and then we don't harm people. You guys virtue signal 24/7, pretend you're morally superior, and then you do crazy shit. Okay? That's the difference. So 7% of Democrats think talking about killing someone in their family is not okay. So dude, 7%, you know how low that is? So all Democrats think morally it's okay to talk about killing people and their kids. You guys are going to sit here and lecture us about morality? I don't think so. We have an update on the ceasefire. The Israel ceasefire sparked chaos as Palestinians threw rocks during prisoner exchanges at CNN fumed that Trump pulled off the deal. Meanwhile, Democrats dodge basic questions about Hamas.
What strikes you about these confrontations is the complete lack of fear. We're here on the West Bank waiting for Palestinian prisoners to be released. And here's what we see. Below us, Offa Prison, Israel's notoriously tough jail. Around us, Palestinian youths curious about what's going to happen next. And above, an IDF drone dropping leaflets warning people there'll be harsh punishments if they're seen to endorse terror groups. There's a sudden rush around us. Stones are being hurled at a military vehicle that's slowly driving along the road below. The vehicle is safe, it's protected by heavy armour, but it responds, scattering the crowd. What strikes you about these confrontations is the complete lack of fear. These Palestinian youths are throwing volleys of stones down there at that Israeli military vehicle. and they're getting tear gas and stun grenades coming in the other direction, and yet they just keep going.
Look at those little criminals as they're releasing all the prisoners. My favorite thing was like they'll show some video of some guy running into like his wife's arms. They're like, Israel captured him and he's finally released. And it turns out he like literally bombed a school bus with like 6 kids in it, and that's who they're excited. But yeah, no, the kids are great. They're throwing rocks. Just a bunch of future doctors and lawyers. That looks so beautiful. They should just take over Israel so it can all look like that. What a better life, am I right? So the Palestinians they're not too happy about the ceasefire.
People told me thanks Trump for the ceasefire. Let's thank him in the right way. Thank you for giving the IDF billions of dollars to define themselves from our children. Thank you for using the veto not once, 10 times to make sure the bombs falling for us. Veto. Thank you for sending smart muscle. It's so smart. Always find their way to our children. Thank you for calling it self-defense. I didn't know defense mean bombing school and hospitals. And thank you for your silence. It's so louder than any exploitation we hear.
For people who I don't know, their whole lives revolve around, murder and war and electing these terrorist groups as leaders, and then they're the first people to act like they have no idea where this came from, and everyone's just attacking them, and they're so innocent. I'm like, the video before is like literally the kids are like throwing rocks. They're probably going home and being like, I threw rocks at the Jews and Israel and all that. And I'm just like, the constant way of them acting. Okay, so it. What do you want then? What do you want? Okay, so you're not happy. The damage is done. Hey, that's war. Name me one war in history where afterwards things were better built and they were more beautiful and there was no damage. That's war. That's what happens when you guys go and you slaughter innocent people and you're a little, outnumbered with machines and technology and support and all that. That's what happens. It's war. I'm sorry you don't like that. You should maybe rethink about your leadership there, but they're very quick to play the victim. I'm not buying the bullshit over here, but that's just me. CNN is upset because they actually had to admit that Trump pulled it off.
And if President Trump is able to do this, it's a major victory for him.
Look, it is challenging to actually hear that piece of, Trump potentially being the one to get the ceasefire deal. But I think what we are seeing now is that a lot of people are tired of the devastation that's happening to the Palestinian people. And so how do we figure out a path forward? And so I would be interested to understand President Trump's interest in this, because he has said some things that are very harmful to the Palestinian people. I don't know, what his motivations are.
He wants the war to end. I mean, he wants the war.
That's what he wants.
He wants the war to end for a lot of reasons. Some of them are personal reasons. He wants that Nobel Peace Prize. Some of them are that I do think that whatever you think of Trump, he does not like the idea of all the death and destruction. But
like, what do you mean? Like, he ran campaigns on we don't want to be in war. We don't want to be in war with Ukraine. We don't want to be in war with Palestine. We don't want to be in any wars. Also, Scott Jennings is just he is literally my favorite person. The way he could just sit there and just listen to all these idiots talking. I'm shocked they have him, because every week I see clips of him and he's just destroying Democrat after Democrat. And I'm kind of shocked they don't put people on that are a little bit more on his level. I mean, you'd think he's the most right-wing guy. He's so funny. He's just sitting there just everything these people are saying is so stupid. Well, I don't think he likes the Palestinians. Yeah, none of us do. No other countries want them either. Why don't you go look up the wall Egypt built and get back to me on how many people are just loving these Palestinians that are coming in? Sorry, he's not the only one. Zoran can't answer the question, should Hamas give up their weapons?
Into one that's affordable for each and every New Yorker.
But, okay, I want to get to that, absolutely. But do you believe that Hamas should lay down their weapons and leave the leadership in Gaza?
I believe that any future here in New York City is one that we have to make sure that's affordable for all. And as it pertains to Israel and Palestine, that we have to ensure that there is peace. And that is the future that we have to fight for.
But you won't say that Hamas should lay down their arms and give up leadership in Gaza.
I don't really have opinions about the future of Hamas and Israel beyond the question of justice and safety and the fact that anything has to abide by international law. And that applies to Hamas, that applies to the Israeli military, applies to anyone you could ask me about.
Okay. One last thought on that. You have said that you would arrest Netanyahu if he came to the United States. You've been very outspoken.
Everything he's been talking about since he started his campaign is he's never talking about New York. He's never talking about America. He has been talking about Palestine and the Palestinians and Hamas. He literally won't tell them to put their weapons down. He doesn't want to lose his pro-Hamas fan base, which is insane. That's someone that could be running New York. And on top of that, he has mentioned multiple times that he believes in banning all guns. Okay? So I'm like, this is the guy? What happened? What happened? I don't understand what happened. We got to the point where this guy is potentially going to win. New York, I genuinely pray for you. If you guys didn't vote, I really hope this is the first time you do. So no, he won't say that Hamas should give up weapons. But he's made 1 million comments about Palestine and the Middle East. But then when he's pressured on that, he's like, I don't care what happens over there. He's full of shit. He's a very good liar. Most of them are very good liars. Not even, though, because we have screenshots of everything he said. Trump's hilarious response to a reporter asking if Macron recognizing Palestine as an independent state was counterproductive or not.
Counterproductive to France, for France to say that they would recognize the Palestinian state. Macron said that yesterday.
Look, he's a different kind of a guy. He's okay. He's a team player, pretty much. But here's the good news. What he says doesn't matter. You know.
I don't know, you guys. We just need to enjoy every day we have him as president, because I swear the next person, it's going to be good, but it's just not going to be this funny. So we really need to take it all in. So good off script. Trump says he may not make it to heaven. This is a great video.
I don't think there's anything going to get me in heaven. Okay, I really don't. I think I'm not maybe heaven bound. I may be in heaven right now as we fly in Air Force One. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make heaven.
This guy, even are the liberals seeing this? He's hilarious. Come on, come on. How do you not like him? And eventually, you guys, it's just easier to be part of the gang. Have some fun, enjoy it, see the clips, just live a little. Let your hair down. Trump says that the opposition leader in Israel is a nice man. Tells Bibi he can be nicer now that he isn't at war.
Mr. Opposition Leader, he's a very nice opposition leader. I think. No, he's a nice man. Bibi, he's a nice man. He knows what he's doing, right? No, he's a very nice guy. Well, see, now you can be a little bit nicer, Bibi, because you're not at war anymore, Bibi.
The first name kills me. Look at the room, though. That room, they are eating him up. They love him. That room would never exist like that under Biden. It wouldn't under Obama either, because everyone had to pretend that he's a fantastic speaker and they all really like him. But I'm like, that's amazing. To see that is like actually amazing. We should be really happy to be in a room, that serious. I don't know. I love to see it. Every time I see clips of him, it makes me very happy. I hope it makes you guys happy. Alex Jones' appeal denied. The Supreme Court rejected Alex Jones's $1.4 billion Sandy Hook appeal, raising serious questions about the future of free speech in America. Once again, the establishment shows it's more interested in punishment than principle. We have a video. The Supreme Court rejects Alex Jones' $1.4 billion Sandy Hook judgment.
The Supreme Court has rejected Alex Jones's appeal of the $1.4 billion defamation judgment against him. Judges in Texas and Connecticut found Jones liable for defamation and emotional distress for falsely claiming the 2012 Sandy Hook school massacre was a hoax. The Supreme Court did not explain its refusal to hear Jones's appeal and leaves in place the judgments of those lower courts. Jones still hasn't paid any of the damages he owes those families.
All right. Here's the thing about this. There's a lot to this to unpack. First of all, Alex Jones has we all know what he said about Sandy Hook and the families. We have a screenshot here. It's the First Amendment. He can have that opinion. He can say it out loud. But here's what's interesting to me. He admitted he was kind of like schizophrenic and he was going through things and he had made statements about that, which First of all, I do believe crisis actors are real. When we were watching the Ukraine war, how many weird videos were coming out of literally people moving in body bags and like smoking, having cigarettes, the COVID stuff where everything is just like, it's all planned for, not saying it's all planned for TV, but there's a lot of stuff planned for TV. Do I think those people exist? Yeah, I do think they're real. Did he say he was like schizophrenic at the time and he apologized to the families and all these things? Yes, I don't know, there was a documentary on it. I don't know if you guys watched it. There's a lot of weird stuff with the family, okay? The families are coming out. They're a little weird. They seem to be more obsessed with Alex Jones and getting money than the fact that their kids are dead. And if you watch the documentary, you will see what I'm talking about. But here's the thing. When it comes to free speech, okay, where do you guys stand in free speech? Because I stand in all speech, including hate speech. I'm not an idiot. Obviously, you can't scream there's a bomb on a plane. But the thing is with Alex, whether he said something that was a truth, a lie, whatever it was his free speech. I want to know why he deserves to be fined $1.4 billion if this isn't just political persecution, which it is what it always is. Because I'm confused. I saw tons of Democrats and people cheering Charlie Kirk dying, and not only that, making tons of money off videos with millions of views about the conspiracies about him, accusing Israel of killing him, accusing whoever of killing him. And I'm like, why is that not similar to this? Alex Jones didn't kill the kids. The kids are dead. Whatever he says is not changing the outcome of that. Do I see as the parent how you would be very upset? Yes, but I do think it is weird to go on a witch hunt on this level for something that is technically free speech, even if it is wrong. And if he has admitted to his followers that it is wrong and he was going through schizophrenia or whatever, but I see people lie all the time. How about the people who lie and people actually die? You know who I think is worse than Alex Jones, and I don't believe he should have to pay any of this? The judges who continue to let people out with 35 prior convictions that go and stab innocent people. They should be fined $1.4 billion, okay? They actually are causing direct murder. How about the people that lie about the vaccines we take and cause us to have injuries, cause kids to have autoimmune diseases and autism that ruin lives, that end up killing people? How come the people who get people to the point where they're dead because of political reasons, they don't have to pay any money? How much money has this? 1.4 billion should be how much Fauci owns, okay, before he goes to prison for the rest of his life. So I'm sorry, I'm with Alex Jones on this. I think this is political persecution. Do I believe crisis actors are real? I do think they are. Was that crisis actors? I don't think it was. Kids died. It's very sad. But I also think the parents are weird on this. They seem very out for greed and money. And I think if your kids really are dead, why is that your number one thing? I really don't understand. There's a lot of weird shit about this. So we'll get into this another time. So more failures by judges released Paulette Gibson, who stabbed 2 people and left them for dead, echoing the same reckless pattern that freed Irina's killer. These cases reveal just how broken and dangerous America's justice system has truly become. We have an image. Paulette Gibson, who was arrested for stabbing 2 people and leaving them for dead, was just released from prison. Once again, this person has done more damage than Alex Jones. Sorry. So stabbed 2 people, left them for dead, was on a $20,000 bond. Why do we have bonds for that? How about a $1.4 billion bond like Alex Jones, who's never stabbed anyone or killed anyone? 15 prior arrests, violent offenses. So once again, this is how we fix this overnight. I guess we're just going to have to say this every week. The judges need to be held responsible. And if someone dies, they go to jail for life. And it's really that simple. But once again, I don't understand how are these things completely different? He's not hurting anyone. He might be hurting people with words, but that's not the same as stabbing people. $20,000 compared to $1.4 billion doesn't seem to add up. Seems like political persecution. These are the same judges who released Irina's killer. Oh wow, it's the same judges on the cases? Okay, well then there you go. These things are all connected. Why are they all connected? What are we going to do about this? I mean, the one on the left doesn't look like a judge. She looks like she would be the criminal, so that's kind of crazy. We have another case from the same county of the judge who released Irina's killer earlier. This is the same county that released killer prior to her death, but then I looked up the release was What is it? Not even not even past the bar, which we already talked about that. These judges didn't even go to law school. They're like literally just random people that they picked off the street pretty much at this point. Gets credit for the 350 days served. I mean, this lunatic will be out of prison, roaming the streets in just a couple months. Great. He pleaded guilty to randomly shooting 5 people. Got 20 to 36 months in prison, and soon he'll be hanging out on a street near you. Did a lot more damage than Alex Jones to me. Interesting. I wonder if, I don't know. I don't know, guys. The black female judge that continues to let violent criminals out on the streets, where they do over and over again, where they shoot people, stab people, kill people. The good news about her is she won the 2019 Diversity Champion Award. Diversity Champion Award. The only award she should be winning is how, she released the most black criminals back into society to kill innocent people. Hey, that's what happens. Hey, diversity, our greatest strength. Am I right? That's what I've been told for years. Yeah. I'm sure Irina and all the dead people think it's also our greatest strength. Good news, 6,000 students arrived to the TPUSA event in Oklahoma. Yeah, and the difference is we don't have to pay people to go to our events. They show up willingly. It's also not, this is like what Charlie wanted. He wanted people to get involved, form communities, get involved in politics at a younger age, student campuses, go back to church. Even I'm like, if I can find a not woke church here in Los Angeles, I am willing to go to it. That's it for today, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. We are everywhere, and we will be back. I will see you very soon.